Hi everyone, welcome at Wavect. Today, I'm pleased to say hello to John Kraski, who is the director of NFT thought leaders and focuses on his occupation on the strategic partnerships. He has been the director of NFT Genius as well as Laurel and Wolf, and also was the COO of McCarthy. And today, I'm pleased to talk with John about which NFT projects actually will vanish in the next few years. So thank you for being here and for taking the time to speak with me. And if you want so, it would be great if you could introduce yourself a little bit, what you're passionate about, what are you doing, and then let's jump right into the topic.
Absolutely. It's an honor to be here. It's actually the first podcast I've done in Austria, so I'm excited about that. Just a little bit about my career. I actually started in the world of accounting and finance. I worked for KPMG, Price Waterhouse. I worked for JP Morgan. Then I got my MBA in entertainment at the University of Southern California. And then during that time, I worked for Disney. I worked for a Spanish communications company. I also worked for a well-known TV producer, Aaron Kaplan. Then I took this crazy pivot into the world of luxury interior design. I worked for Michael Smith, who was the interior designer for the Obama White House, George Clooney, Cindy Crawford, Harrison Ford, a bunch of other high-profile people in entertainment, finance, and the political world. And then I left Michael Smith, and I actually did work for Laurel and Wolf for a while. It was a benchmark capital venture-backed interior design technology platform. It really, the goal was to democratize interior design. Unfortunately, that didn't work out as a business. It folded at some point right after I had left. So that was unfortunate, but I did love technology. And then I ended up going to Brian McCarthy, which is something that's very similar that I did to Michael Smith. And I was kind of unsatisfied. It was just a smaller version of Michael Smith, and I just realized that's not where I wanted to be. Pandemic happened. I realized I wanted to try to get back into either technology or entertainment. So I applied to all the usual suspects: Facebook, Google, Amazon, yada yada yada. Didn't get an offer from any of those companies. Interviewed with a lot of them, but just didn't work out. And then somehow, serendipitously, I applied to this job on LinkedIn. It was called NFT Genius. Had no clue what an NFT was. They said they loved my resume. I have no idea why, because I had no crypto experience. I really had very minimal technology experience. Didn't know anything about NFTs, and it just worked out. Yeah, just couple conversations. One with the COO, one with the founder of the company, probably each a half hour. And they actually didn't even hire me for the position I had interviewed for. They found somebody else. They said I was overqualified, but they liked me so much. They said, "Hey, we're going to bring you on. We'll just figure it out." So I initially started as a special projects manager at NFT Genius. That's the name of the company that I actually ended up getting an offer from, which was a Mark Cuban, Ashton Kutcher venture-backed NFT technology platform. But I started with special projects. Then they moved me in a product manager role. Didn't know anything about product management, so that didn't work out very long. But I gave it a go. Then I did some operations and finance, because that was obviously pretty strong on my resume in terms of what I had done previously. But I told them that's not where I wanted to be going. Then I just started independently, started doing more like business development, partnerships. That's really what I'm naturally good at. And it kind of it worked out. They just realized I was really good at it. I started building out the community in the space, because we're obviously in a very, very new space here. I guess in Web3, whatever you want to call it, NFTs, Web3. So I just started hosting these monthly events, mostly breakfasts. I prefer to do breakfasts as opposed to nighttime events. And the reasoning why is if people are fresh in the morning, you don't have to deal with like typically loud music, alcohol. So I've been hosting these breakfasts where you have the top people in the space, whether they're creators, brands, investors. And it's just a really fun room, because we're all here just trying to build as many professional and personal relationships as possible right now, and figure out kind of who we want to build with. So yeah, that was kind of the seed of the idea for NFT thought leaders, bringing together these top thought leaders. And then Charles Atkins, who's one of my colleagues, what was one of my colleagues at NFT Genius is actually one of my colleagues now. We decided, hey, why don't we just build this out into like an actual brand? So that's how NFT Thought Leaders was created. So we not only do in real life events, we're going to start to be doing educational stuff as well, monthly newsletter, other like kind of like masterclass videos on different parts of Web3, whether it's the metaverse, blockchain, crypto. And yeah, that's where we're at. But I'm actually now, besides NFT Thought Leaders, which is getting rebranded, by the way, in about a week. So there's a little alpha for you. So the name NFT Thought Leaders will not exist in about a week, but it'll be more inclusive because the NFT too narrow in terms of where the space is heading and what where the technology is going. So now Charles and I we were working together for a company called Admix, which is one of the world's largest metaverse builders. The company's actually based in the UK, and we're basically doing the same thing we did in NFT Genius, but we're having the conversations with all these brands now about getting into the metaverse first, as opposed to having NFTs as the entry point. So we're working closely together there as well. And yeah, it's really exciting. And there's a lot of exciting announcements in terms of what's going on at Admix as well. But they were a previously established company. They've been around, I don't know, for 4 or 5 years. And they're one of the world's largest in video game advertising companies. So their ad platform mimics Facebook, and they basically want to take that technology and that tech stack from what they've done in video games and apply it now to the metaverse. So yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff going on. And obviously I'm hosting the NFT Heat podcast. We just we released our 50th episode about 3 or 4 weeks ago. We've recorded another 15 or 16, I don't know, so many that they're getting released over the next month. And then we also have now a partnership with Alter TV. So there'll be video content. There'll be video content to accompany our podcast as well, which is super exciting. But yeah, man, there's so much good stuff going on. There's a bunch of other stuff I honestly I can't even disclose right now, but the opportunities are endless right now in Web3. And I'm just thankful for the opportunity. I was able to reinvent my life because of the space. And I'm always thankful, humbled every day for the opportunity. And I remember, as quickly as you rise, you can fall as well. So just stay humble, even though, things are going super well right now. I always just remember, things can change quickly too, and you can be on the other side. So yeah, with LinkedIn, I try to help as many people as possible. Obviously, yeah, I didn't even mention LinkedIn. I actually think that's my full-time job. Actually, that's what we should talk about. I mean, I feel like I'm on LinkedIn like literally every minute of my life. Even when I'm sleeping, I'm thinking about posting. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff, but I mean, I've never been happier. None of it feels like work. I'm always busy doing something, whether it's LinkedIn, going to conferences, which I did early in the week, and speaking on panels, hosting events, which I'm going to be doing next week in Amsterdam, Mets Amsterdam. I'm going to be hosting a breakfast at Soho House for the NFT Thought Leaders community. Yeah, man, I'm always keeping busy, having fun. Love coming on podcasts like this, just talking, connecting with other people like yourself. So fun, man. It's all fun. That's what it's all about for me. So
awesome. Super inspiring story. In general, it's all about the mindset, and that shows me basically everyone that's just a best proof for it right now, right? So let's jump right into the topic. What do you think? Sorry, mate.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
So what would you say, what makes actually a really good NFT project?
What makes a good NFT project? Well, I mean, 99.99% are just complete nonsense. They're all like cartoon projects. So they're just derivatives of derivatives of derivatives. So let's talk about what not makes a good project, which is basically the majority of stuff you see out there. So I mean, the word utility, I mean, it's thrown around a lot. I didn't, I understood it on a very like visceral level, but I didn't quite understand what utility was. But like most of these NFT projects, we're speaking projects right now, they don't really have any way to like level up the consumer experience, right? So, I was on a panel with Charles Atkins earlier in the week, and I think the easiest kind of projects right now that like just make the most sense for brands is just almost like loyalty points, whatever, a way to level up the consumer experience through the NFT. So, Starbucks app, you get stars every time you purchase something, and you can do something very similar at to that with NFTs. So I think it's figuring out how to level up the consumer experience through the NFTs. And you should really reward your super users, the people that are passionate about your brand, always spending money. I mean, for instance, I belong to Soho House. They don't even keep track right now of like how much I spend there or any of the things I do. And I mean, it already is an elevated experience, but they could elevate it even more with an NFT. So I think, existing projects, VeeFriends is pretty interesting. The whole private membership model. I think something, private membership, loyalty rewards, those are the kind of projects that are super interesting and I think have practical applications. So, I mean, that would be sort of how I would like sort of answer that question. But, yeah, in terms of what's currently in the marketplace, yeah, VeeFriends is doing a pretty good job. I think it's a model for a lot of brands to follow. I think it requires some tweaking. I don't think everybody can dedicate the amount of time he does to interacting with his customer base, but something along those lines. I think leveling up the engagement with it, because he's a brand, so it's leveling up the engagement with the consumer through the NFT. I think that's a winning model, and that's what companies should really focus on right now. I think, go like, I don't know, like, let's not worry about where the space is going to be in 10 years. Like, let's just worry about what's in front of us right now. And that's just like low hanging fruit. So that's, I think, a great entry point for most brands. And that's what I'd advise. And also I would just say to any brand out there, you really have to look at this as a marketing expense right now. You can't, I know like a lot of times these things get past the CFO's office and they want revenue projections. It's just still too early. I mean, you can come up with some baseline numbers, but I think you have to go in it like, hey, this is going to be a marketing expense right now. You're going to learn. There's going to be a lot of learnings. It's a good opportunity to kind of expand the brand and just kind of go about it that way. So still a lot to be done, but it's exciting times, and definitely every brand should get out there and just get involved. Jump in, man. That's the best advice.
Yeah, get your hands dirty. That doesn't only account for young devs or marketers or whatsoever, but also for huge corporations, right? Awesome.
Yep.
So speaking about what NFT collections shouldn't be, what are you actually thinking about PFPs or those so-called NFT blue chips that are currently out there?
I mean, I think the CryptoPunks, the Bored Apes, there's some utility there, and I think those are probably, I think they have enough money and they just have enough notoriety now in Hollywood that they'll probably have some few and a lot of celebrities as well that are holders now. So I think those are solid. I think there could be some interesting things happening like in art, like the actual like fine art world. They really, they haven't really fully adopted the technology yet. So I think there could be some super interesting applications there. But yeah, I mean, there's only a handful of PFP projects that maybe have future utility. So obviously CryptoPunks, Bored Ape, they were kind of, they had the first mover advantage. But after that, I don't know, the list starts to get really weak in terms of excitement level. So I think there's going to be a new wave. I think really the next wave of growth will be the brands that start to get involved. But PFP projects by themselves, there's not much utility for most of these projects. They just literally copy and pasted the roadmaps from other projects, but they'll never be able to deliver. So, I mean, they'll have like play to earn video games. Do people understand how expensive it is to build a play to earn video game? It's tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe even billions. It's those are big numbers. It's very difficult. It's really hard, and it's also hard to create content. It's I know Bored Ape, CryptoPunks, the TV and movie deals, but man, that's crazy. That's really hard to write good content, develop storylines. Disney's been doing it for 100 years, but they had a lot of failures. Like they have a lot of big hits that we all know about, but they also have a lot of failures, and it's very difficult. So even if they just even get like one like storyline or maybe a movie idea across the finish line, that could take years. I mean, even some of the most successful people in Hollywood could take a decade to get their idea from concept to screen. So I live in Hollywood, so I do equate a lot of this PFP stuff to bad screenplays. It really feels like the same thing. It's just like, I get it. Everybody wants to be creative. They have an idea, but I mean, most of these PFP projects are just ideas. They're just like art, and just a very like general idea. But where's the utility behind just an idea? Okay, great, some pretty art, and it's kind of like you have a kind of cool concept, but it's not enough to keep consumers engaged on a long period of time. And remember, the whole idea of NFTs is secondary sales. So if the community is not there excited long term, then the secondary sales won't exist. So then the NFT becomes worthless, which is basically what we're seeing happening now. So yeah, most of these projects will just disappear. Maybe somebody creates a technology where they can give utility to these things, but I mean, I don't even know what that would be. So I've heard some ideas pitched to me, and some of them sound semi-interesting, but as all the ideas are, execution's everything. So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely agree on that. I think many NFT projects right now actually are thinking in 2021 terms, right? Where these kind of things worked. You just dropped nice little art, maybe even had some sort of utility, but in most cases that was already enough. The same for tokens, right? And yeah, they just heard that in the news and, oh, wow, they sold out so fast. And many people, smart people read that and want to try it as well. So that's probably the issue here, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, my inbox on LinkedIn is flooded with pitches all the time. It's so crazy. And I'm not even like, I try to want to reply to everybody, but like that kind of stuff, I just don't have time for anymore. And it's just, not only am I not the right person to be pitching that to, but it's just also, I hate to tell them it's sort of a waste of your time and my time. So, and your money too. It's just, I'd rather have them focus on building products. I mean, the space needs tools, infrastructure, on-ramps. So I'm really getting pitched a lot of amazing ideas by a lot of people over the last year that didn't get caught up in the PFP hype, and they were building. So that's what I'm really excited about. There's a lot of great stuff out there. And the best stuff out there is probably stuff you've never heard of. And the reason why is because they don't have expensive PR agencies. They're not focused, throwing at parties. They've just been building, which is really what we need to be doing right now. And just another thing, you read all the stuff about hiring freezes from Coinbase, Dapper Labs, Crypto.com, companies that are well capitalized and have the money, which is complete. These companies are not going anywhere. They have tons and tons of money, and then go to a VC tomorrow and get more money. But they should be doubling down on hiring, not freezing hiring at all. It's the dumbest thing ever, because there's just so much stuff that needs to be built. We need to be building. So yeah, this opportunity right now, you can get a lot of great talent for cheap. There is a lot of amazing talent. You can get it at a discount. So this is the time to stock up on great talent. It's there. Just load up, because this is we're in it for the long haul. This is not a short-term thing. So
yeah, definitely you should always focus on the long run, right? If you basically, yeah, just think in terms of you. Okay, I lost track here. Maybe
that's all right.
Thinking about huge brands. We talked about what didn't work and which NFT projects might vanish here.
Yep.
But talking about huge brands that already entered the NFT and metaverse space, which are basically a lot right now.
Yep.
Do you think, what are the challenges for them right now? Because in terms of hiring Web3 talent or educating Web2 talents to become Web3 talents, and so on and so on.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, it's the tools, the on-ramps. It's literally simplifying things. I mean, honestly, the setting up a MetaMask and all this other nonsense is just like, it needs to be really clean. I mean, and it's funny, like a company like Dapper Labs still doesn't even have a mobile app. I mean, which is completely ridiculous. They talk about how easy it is to purchase the NFT, which is great on your desktop, but they don't even have the mobile application. So but I was in Austin and I saw somebody pitch me an amazing idea where basically you can take all your NFTs from all your different wallets and combines it into one place. I mean, that's amazing. That's the kind of stuff we need. So those are the kind of things we need in the space, and that'll get more brands into it. I mean, I posted today, we really need to really dumb down like the way we're describing things, using the words NFTs, metaverse, Web3. The list of jargon goes on and on. We don't need to be, I don't know why we keep saying these words. I guess early on it's necessary, but it's kind of time now to just like put that in the back. You know, people on the back end can talk, you can use those words all day long, but in terms of like front facing, talking to consumers, we need to just talk about how we're trying to level up the customer experience, because that's at the end of the day what we're trying to do. So increase engagement and just like all the words you use like now when you're trying to sell a product or service to a company, you just need to talk to them just like that. So all the technical stuff doesn't matter. It's unnecessary, and it's actually kind of sending things backwards in terms of like getting them on board. So, and all the brands I talked to too, you know, the other struggle they have is their executive suite is maybe not as well versed as they need to be. So you need to make sure all those key decision makers are super educated on it. So it's you know, that's what we have to do with NFT thought leaders, you know, not only through our newsletter, but conferences and in real life meetings, is just trying to educate these executives and the C-suite as quickly as possible. And also just, you know, showing them, you know, what to do internally, like how to build out a Web3 team to handle, you know, this new technology. Because that's another thing, you know, they don't even know what resources they need internally to build out this team. So yeah, you know, those are some of the challenges, but all these problems, you know, they create opportunities. Every problem creates an opportunity to solve it for them. So people should be excited about it. All the fact that there's a lot of problems. It's clunky now, but that just means opportunities to start a business, create a product, do something cool. So
sounds like you listened to the same talk of Jack Ma, right? Who also talked about problems are opportunities.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely agree on that. One last thing I would to ask, because I know you have to move to your next meeting in a few minutes. I would like to ask you, what are the 3 major things you actually look for in NFT projects? We heard a lot already, but 3 key bullet points would be awesome.
3 key bullet points. I would look at the team, right? I mean, it's like investing in a company, right? So see who those people are behind there. What are their credentials? So, you know, it's if you can't find out a lot about these people, I'd be very concerned. So that would feel like a rug pull to me. So, you know, do some due diligence on the team behind the project. I mean, that's such a simple thing, you know. And number 2 is really, you know, again, like analyze it like a product. Like, what problem does it solve? Like, how is this going to level up the customer experience? You have to look at it like any project should be looked at as a product. What are you building? What are you trying to build here? So I would really look at it like that. I mean, I you know, hey, it's a cool artist. It got a big following. Okay, whatever. So like, that's not a product. That doesn't solve a problem. I don't understand. You know, it's kind of like gambling. And then, you know, I mean, number 3. Wow, man. You know, it's number 3, man. You know, I guess I would really just want to be excited about it. You know, I mean, I think that's the thing that's been lacking for most of the projects that I've seen. I want to be connected to it. Is it a brand or an artist I personally love? So most of the brands I love right now do not have NFTs. So I talk about Soho House. I love Suit Supply, which is another great one, like one of my favorite brands. I mean, I'm drinking a La Colombe coffee right here. Another one of my favorite brands here in the States. So, I mean, I don't know. I really want to I want to start, you know, finding those brands I love to get into the space, and maybe it's up to me to reach out to them and tell them how to do it. So those are my 3 things. But yeah, you always want to be excited about whatever project you're involved. But yeah, you got to do some research, man. Just, you know, really critically analyze it like you would make any other investment decision. Like, would you just go and blindly buy a stock because you know somebody told you? It's kind of the same mindset, right?
GameStop probably, but yeah.
Yeah, GameStop. I don't know, man. GameStop seems like they may turn this around. I don't know, which is even more wild. But yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it is. I know. But yeah, that's my advice. But you know, just hey, have some fun, man. There's, you know, I would maybe like a 3B, I guess, would be to the last one. It's also just you know, just like ask some of the people in the space that you know, find really best in class resources to lean on and ask them. So, Charles Atkins, I lean on a lot. Justin Shankaroo, who's my podcast host, I talk to him a lot about this kind of stuff. So have a couple of people in the space you really trust and kind of double check anything you'd want to potentially put your money into and get their advice as well. I think having a good group of people, that's what NFT thought leaders, that's why we're building this community, man. I think your most valuable asset right now is not even finding like technology, it's finding people that you really believe in and grow it, because the technology is going to change so much over the next 5 to 10 years. It'll even change over the next year. So have a good group of people that you can trust and grow with, and you guys will pivot, because there's gonna be a lot of pivots. So you want good people to pivot with, because then you can adapt and then create a more amazing opportunities and cool products and services. And yeah, it's just that's my final word of advice. So anybody, if you're looking to get involved in space, definitely check out an upcoming NFT Thought Leaders event, which is being rebranded, by the way. So it's no longer going to be that, but yeah, it'll be the same ethos, energy, and kind of focus of building community in the space the right way. So
awesome. I will put the links into the comment section as well. And in the end, it's always about the network, right? Your network is your network, right? So
100%.
Closing with this, thank you, John, for having me, for taking the time, and it was a pleasure talking with you. And thank you everyone for watching to this.